Jodi Picoult is a best-selling author behind 23 novels in 23 years. She works hard. She is known for her tear-jerking plot lines and dark, twisted narratives, but her new book shows a lighter side. She teams up again with her favorite daughter and her co-author, that's Samantha Van Leer. I like that co-author. Their second young adult novel is called Off the Page, and we welcome you guys both to Studio 57. Samantha, your first time welcome. Jodi, you've been here before.
Thank you.
But Samantha, I'm going to start with you, Missy, because this was your idea.
Yes.
When you were 13, what did you say to your, what did you see? What did you say to your mom?
So I was 13 years old and I was daydreaming in my 8th grade French class, which I don't condone. And I was starting to think about books and what happens when we close a book, because I just couldn't believe that the characters stayed frozen in time, waiting for us to return and breathe the life back into them. And so I started to kind of play around with the different personalities that characters could have while the book is closed, and who they really are when there's no one reading them.
And she brought it to you, Mom, and you thought, great idea, or I don't know?
I did. I mean, her idea was that there might be a prince stuck in a fairy tale who wanted to get out, and maybe it was a reader who fell in love with him, who could get him out of the book. And when she told me that, I said, my daughter is just brilliant. I mean, who hasn't had a literary crush?
Yeah.
But what's interesting to me is whether writing was in your genes and you knew for a while that this is what you want to do, and so at some point you said, this is what I want to do as a writer.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's a genetic thing. I know that if you ask us how we wrote, it was very collaborative. We actually sat side by side and we would speak the entire book out loud. My mom would type because she's faster, and she'd get angry because I was
computers?
too slow.
Are you on computers?
Yes, on
Okay.
a computer. And I would say a line, and she would counter with another line, and we'd go back and forth like that. And there were moments where we were both stumbling over each other to get out this brilliant idea we had, and we'd realize we were saying the exact same thing.
Oh, that's really very sweet. We have this picture of the day that you guys finished the novel, which I think is just great, sort of the look on your face. What are all the little Post-it notes?
So, you know, there were times when perhaps Sammy wasn't quite as motivated as she could have been, and we had sparkly pink glitter pens that a friend had sent me, and she was writing little notes on these Post-its that said things like, I'm a love machine, and, you know, your accent scares me. And as one of us would write, for example, a really romantic scene, we would take the I'm a love machine Post-it and stick it on each other's chest. And so the very last day that we were writing, we just took all the Post-its and wore them and took a selfie.
What happens when there's disagreements? Because I hear sometimes they can get very intense.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know, we actually argued a lot when we were writing, particularly this book. And I think it was because Sammy felt more confident in herself as a writer. She had one under her belt. And because
But
of that...
you had 22.
I had 22.
Under your
but
belt.
I would sit there and I would say, okay, so we're going to start off and we're going to say the sky is blue. And she would go, why? How do you know that? And we would just, you know, she would really challenge me. And I think I challenged her,
Did
too.
you like being challenged by your daughter?
You know, it took me a while to like it, but yeah, actually, because part of the process for me was learning that I may have had more experience, but her gut instincts were so strong that I had to treat her like a co-author and not as an intern. And, you know, we got to the very last day, actually, that we were writing, and she came up to the office, and she was in a really horrific mood that day.
As was my mother.
Okay, and so the two of us were up there, and we were just screaming at each other, and it should have been a really easy last day. And my poor husband came up carrying a little platter of steamed dumplings, and he goes, look at what I got for you. And we both looked at him and went, we don't want those right now. Yeah. So he goes, oh, okay, I'm going to take them downstairs. And we go, no, leave them. And of course, we ate every last one. But, you know, that very last day, I just remember we should have been delighted that we were finishing the book and we were ready to kill each other. But that was good, because in the long run, I do think it made for a tighter, more emotional, better book the second time around.
And so, Samantha, quickly, the plot line, without giving too much of away, is about?
So the first book is really about bringing this prince who is stuck inside his fairy tale and really tired of saying and doing the same thing every day, going through his story. Every time someone reads, it's like Act 1, Scene 1.
That's a perfect
we can just say this, EDAHE, everybody deserves a happy ending,
ending.
and you did that.
Jodi Picoult and Samantha Van Leer, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.